Every week, somebody walks onto a used truck lot looking at a Toyota Tundra, and the first question out of their mouth is, how many miles are on it? That's not the question that matters. The question that matters is what engine is sitting under that hood. Because two Tundras can sit on the same lot, same year, same price tag, and one of them will run past 300,000 miles on nothing but oil changes, while the other one comes with a federal recall attached to it and a $32,000 repair bill waiting in the wings. Here are the 6 Toyota Tundra engines worth knowing before a single dollar changes hands. 3 you need to walk away from. 3 that can go the distance. Number 1 on the buy list has documented, verified cases of engines still running strong past 1 million miles. Starting with number 3, and this one won't blow up on you overnight, it'll just slowly bleed your wallet dry. Number 3, the one URFE 4.6-liter V8, 2010 to 2019. This engine was Toyota's answer to a smaller, more fuel-efficient V8 for guys who didn't need the full 5.7. On paper, it's fine. 310 horsepower, 327 pound-feet of torque, aluminum block and heads, with dual overhead cams and a timing chain instead of a belt. The problem is what's bolted on top. The camshaft housings, what mechanics call the cam towers, bolt onto the cylinder head separately instead of being cast right into the head like most engines. They're sealed with a liquid silicone sealant instead of a gasket, and over time, that sealant breaks down and starts leaking oil. Here's the kicker. Those leaks happen at the back of the engine, right up against the firewall. Fixing it properly means pulling the cab off the frame or yanking the whole engine out. That's a 30-hour job, and dealerships are charging $4,000 to $9,000 for it. This engine also has a reputation for burning oil, sometimes up to half a liter every 1,000 miles, because the piston rings and valve stem seals wear out faster than they should. If you own one of these, you need to be checking your dipstick regularly, because running low on oil on top of everything else is asking for trouble. On top of that, the secondary air injection system on this engine is known for failing when moisture gets into the pump and switching valves. When that happens, you'll see codes like P0418 or P2445 pop up, and the truck goes into limp mode, cutting your throttle to half power and shutting off stability and traction control. Towing anything in that condition is out of the question. Fixing the SAIS system runs another $2,000 to $4,000. Unlike the 5.7 where they are buried under the intake, these switching valves sit right on top of the valve covers. But moisture and corrosion still seize the internal parts and ruin the expensive air pumps hidden in the fender flare. Here's the real problem with this engine long term. It's rarely one catastrophic failure that kills it, it's the math. A cam tower leak plus a SAIS failure on an older truck can easily add up to $10,000 or more in repairs. And once that bill is bigger than what the truck is even worth, most owners just cut their losses and trade it in long before it ever sees 200,000 miles. These trucks run $16,000 to $32,000 used. That's a lot of money to gamble on an oil leak you can't get to without major surgery, on top of an engine that's already asking you to top off the oil more than it should. Before we get to the next one, if you want a more in-depth look into how your pickup truck can last 200,000, 300,000, or even 500,000 miles, this ebook reveals the exact maintenance secrets and brand-specific strategies that every smart pickup truck owner should know. If you want to check it out, the link is down in the description below. Number 2, the one GRFE 4-liter V6, 2005 to 2014. This was the base engine on early second generation and some first generation Tundras, mostly the SR and SR5 trims. 236 horsepower at 5,200 revolutions per minute, 266 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 revolutions per minute, running a 10-to-1 compression ratio with a single VVTi system on the intake cams. Nothing flashy, but it should have been simple and reliable. The issue is buried in how the block was built. Toyota used an open-deck aluminum block with thin cast-in cylinder liners, sometimes called spiny liners, because of their irregular, spiny exterior surface designed to help the liner grip the aluminum and pull heat away from the cylinder. Clever idea on paper, but it creates a permanent weakness. That open-deck design saves weight and keeps manufacturing costs down, which is exactly why Toyota went with it. But an open-deck block gives the cylinder walls a lot less support at the top of the engine compared to a closed-deck design, and that lack of rigidity is a big reason the head gasket ends up taking the brunt of the punishment over time. And something usually does go wrong, right around the 150,000-mile mark. The aluminum block and head expand at different rates under heat, and that constant movement wears down the gasket over time. Once it fails, coolant gets into the cylinders, and in bad cases, that coolant hydro-locks the engine or scores the cylinder walls outright. Normally, that's an expensive but fixable repair. Not here. Because those liners are cast directly into the block, you cannot bore them out or resurface the block to fix the damage. Once the gasket goes, the block is scrap metal, full stop, no rebuild option. Making matters worse, the factory water pump on this engine is known to fail somewhere between 40,000 and 50,000 miles. If you don't stay ahead of it, a sudden coolant leak overheats the engine and warps the heads before you even know there's a problem. These trucks sell for $10,000 to $17,833 used, and that price doesn't account for the fact you're one bad water pump away from a dead truck. Number 1. The V35 AFTS 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 2022 to 2024. This is the standard, non-hybrid engine Toyota put in the brand-new third-generation Tundra, rated at 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. Impressive numbers for a 3.4-liter, but this engine has turned into one of the biggest black eyes in the company's history. It's currently under 3 separate NHTSA recalls: 24V-381, 25V-767, and 26V-320. The problem is spun main bearings, which lead to complete engine seizure. Toyota's early explanation was leftover metal shavings from the manufacturing process getting into the oil. Independent teardowns tell a bigger story about how the bottom end was actually engineered. Deep inspections of this engine found something odd. The main bearing shells aren't all the same size. Bores 1 and 4 use wider bearings, while bores 2 and 3 use narrower ones, and the engine relies on a single aluminum girdle instead of individual steel main caps to hold the whole assembly together. The timing chain on this engine constantly pulls the front of the crankshaft upward. Under heavy towing, high altitude, or aggressive driving, cylinder pressure is pushing the pistons down at the same time. That fight between the two forces squeezes the number 1 main bearing until the oil film collapses. Once that oil film collapses, metal is grinding on metal, and it welds the crankshaft to the bearing in an instant. This engine also uses what's called a non-priority oil circuit, meaning oil doesn't flow to the main and rod bearings first the way it does on most engines, and it only has a small thrust bearing on the block itself, nothing to back it up. And this isn't some small, isolated issue. Reporting on this recall has confirmed it now spans roughly 250,000 trucks on the road, and that number has grown over time as Toyota expanded the scope of the recall. Toyota's official position has been debris in the block, but the mechanics and independent teardown teams looking at this failure keep pointing back to the same design vulnerability at the front of the crankshaft. Some owners have tried shortening their oil changes down to every 3,000 miles, hoping to flush out any debris before it causes damage. That habit doesn't fix the underlying design problem. If this happens outside your warranty, you're looking at a full engine replacement around $32,000, because a spun bearing destroys the block's bearing geometry and it cannot be rebuilt in a normal shop. These trucks are selling for $35,180 to $46,439 used right now. That's a lot of money for a truck with an open recall and a documented history of blowing itself apart. If you know somebody shopping for a Tundra right now, do them a favor and share this video with them before they make a mistake. Now let's talk about the engines that earned Toyota its reputation in the first place. Number 3. The 5VZFE 3.4-liter V6, 2000 to 2004. This was the base engine in the first-generation Tundra, and it's one of the most overbuilt V6s Toyota ever made. Cast iron block, aluminum heads, a 24-valve dual overhead cam layout, and sequential fuel injection, producing 190 horsepower and 220 pound-feet of torque. It's not fast, and nobody's buying it for that. What you're buying is a bulletproof bottom end. The forged steel internals rarely wear out, and because it's a non-interference design, a snap timing belt won't send pistons into your valves like it does on some competitors. This engine is also about as cheap and easy to live with as they come. It runs on standard 5W30 oil, conventional or synthetic, holding just 5.5 quarts with a filter change, and it's known for tolerating varying fuel quality without complaint. Parts are cheap, and any independent shop can work on it without a fuss. Independent teardowns of high-mileage 5VZFE engines have backed up its reputation. Mechanics who've pulled these engines apart well past 200,000 miles consistently find minimal internal wear, which is exactly why this engine has earned the reputation as one of the toughest V6s Toyota has ever put out. To keep this engine alive past 200,000 miles, replace the timing belt, water pump, and idler pulleys every 90,000 miles without exception. Past 150,000 miles, keep an eye on the valve cover gaskets and the plastic camshaft half-moons. They tend to seep oil onto the exhaust manifold as they age. The one real issue to watch for on automatic models is what owners call the pink milkshake. The factory radiator has a built-in transmission cooler, and if that internal barrier corrodes, coolant and transmission fluid mix together into a pink sludge that destroys the clutch packs inside your transmission. For less than $100, you can install a standalone external transmission cooler and bypass that radiator loop for good. These trucks run $6,000 to $11,035 used, and for that money, you're getting one of the most dependable, easy-to-service engines Toyota has ever built. Number 2. The 2UZFE 4.7-liter V8, 2000 to 2009. If you want something with real low-end torque and a nearly indestructible bottom end, this is the engine to look for. Unlike most modern engines, this one uses a heavy cast iron block paired with aluminum heads and a 32-valve dual overhead cam layout. Horsepower ranges from 230 up to 282 depending on the year, with pre-2005 models running a 9.6 to 1 compression ratio and post-2005 VVTi models bumped up to 10 to 1 for a bit more power. The engine specs are actually over square, with a 94mm bore and 84mm stroke. But because of its heavy cast iron reciprocating mass and low RPM cam tuning, it behaves like an undersquare engine, churning out massive low-end torque for towing and off-roading. But the number that matters most isn't on any spec sheet, it's longevity. This engine routinely runs 300,000 to 500,000 miles, with nothing more than basic maintenance, and it's genuinely free of any major design flaws. Remember that cast iron liner problem we talked about on the 1GRFE, where the block can't be bored out once it's worn? That's not a concern here. Cast iron is fully machinable, so if this engine ever does wear out at extremely high mileage, a competent machine shop can bore it out and rebuild it, something that's simply not possible on those aluminum block engines with the thin cast-in liners. The one thing you cannot skip is the timing belt service. Replace the belt, water pump, tensioner, and idler pulleys every 90,000 miles or 7 years, whichever comes first. Expect to pay $800 to $1,200 for that job at an independent shop, and it holds 6.6 quarts of 5W30 oil. just know that on 2005 and newer VVTi models, this becomes an interference engine, meaning a snapped belt will bend valves and cause real damage. Stay ahead of that service and you'll never have a problem. Also, check your solid valve lifters, a shim-over bucket design, every 100,000 miles, and flush your cooling system every 60,000 miles with Toyota Red Coolant. These trucks sell for $8,000 to $14,000 used, with fuel economy sitting around 14 miles per gallon combined. For a truck that can realistically outlive 2 or 3 modern engines, that's about as good a deal as you'll find on a used lot. If you've made it this far, hit subscribe, because we cover trucks like this every single week. Number 1. The 3URFE 5.7-liter I-Force V8 2007 to 2021. This is the engine that made the Tundra's reputation, and it deserves every bit of it. There are documented, verified examples of this engine crossing 1 million miles on the original block. No rebuild required. The bottom end tells you why. Forged steel crankshaft, forged powder metal connecting rods, massive 6-bolt main caps, and a full thrust bearing on the crankshaft. Not the small partial bearing you get on the newer Turbo V6. That's the difference between an engine that walks under load and one that doesn't. It produces 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque, and it can tow up to 10,500 pounds without ever getting close to its limits. It also uses water-cooled exhaust manifolds, which help the engine warm up faster and reduce thermal stress on the whole system, something most engines in this class don't bother with. Because it's naturally aspirated, it's running well below its structural and thermal ceiling every single day you drive it. There's no turbo, no exotic bearing setup, no forced induction pushing the internals to their limits. Just a well-built V8 doing exactly what it was designed to do. One more habit worth building into your maintenance routine. Even though this engine uses a timing chain instead of a belt, it's still smart to inspect the timing chain tensioners and guides for wear or plastic degradation every 100,000 miles. It's a simple visual check, and catching a worn guide early is a whole lot cheaper than dealing with a chain that started skipping. To get 200,000 plus miles out of this engine, change your oil and filter every 5,000 miles with a quality full synthetic. It takes 7.9 quarts of 0W20 or 5W20. Flush your cooling system every 60,000 miles with Toyota Red Coolant. And if your secondary air injection valves ever fail, a bypass kit like the ones from Hewitt Tech runs under $300 and permanently eliminates a repair that can cost $3,000 or more at the dealer. These trucks run $13,671 to $39,295 used, with the 2014 to 2021 models commanding the higher end of that range. Fuel economy sits around 13 miles per gallon, and that's the one real trade-off. Everything else about this engine has earned its legendary reputation the hard way. So here's the bottom line. 2 Tundras can sit on the same lot, same price, same mileage, and be 2 completely different investments depending on what's under the hood. The V35 AFTS, the early one GRFE, and the one URFE can turn a good deal into an expensive mistake. The 5 VZFE, the 2 UZFE, and the legendary 3 URFE are proven engines that can go the distance with basic maintenance. Before you hand over a single dollar, know which engine you're buying. That's worth more than any trim package or color on the lot. If this video helped you out, hit like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who's shopping for a Tundra right now.